This will be a day long remembered. Now I am the master.
Welcome to another episode of Legends and Theories. And welcome to a review of Darknest 1 The Joiner King. And this is the first novel in the Darknest trilogy. And just from what I've been reading so far in book 2, it is currently the worst. It is not a terrible book overall, but especially if you're reading these books in chronological order, it is a rough and abrupt change from the grand epic of the Yuuzhan Vong War and the New Jedi Order. And it pushes things down to such a smaller scale. That's something personally I don't mind too much, but it was a really odd and abrupt transition after finishing the Unifying Force and going directly into this. And the characters in it are generally the ones that went to the Mercury mission alongside Anakin Solo and the others who died there. And it does focus on one of them being Raynar Thol, who was abducted by Dark Jedi in the novel Star by Star. And in that one, he also he's taken away by them after they trick Lubaka to get off of it, and they have no idea what happens to him. He crashes onto a planet filled with insects that once inhabited Alderaan named the Killiks, and they take him in while another group known as the Gorog go and take in the two Dark Jedi, and they create something called the Dark Nest. The Dark Nest is secretly influencing the Killiks to go and create aggression with the Chiss ascendancy and lead to a war between them that the Dark Jedi could use to try and take over the galaxy. But with this, honestly, I don't know, the story was mainly not super compelling. I personally, besides the characters that were in there, that from other books, wasn't too intrigued with what was going on with new characters, and didn't fully love the directions they took with pre-existing characters. I think that stuff with like, especially Jaina and Zeke were, I feel like definitely felt off at some points, and I don't know, I was just a little weird with them being with the Killiks and really becoming joiners. This one is interesting because it is the first time that Ben Skywalker gets really any character development since he was just a baby and very young throughout the entire New Jedi Order series where he was introduced. And it also has a small thing that is introduced here that is never really explained until the Legacy of the Force novels, which is his reluctance to use the Force, and it's eventually revealed that it was Abeloth reaching out to him and all the other Jedi younglings that were in the shelter station to try and use him to help her escape. But at this point in the storyline, it's never super clear, and they set it up for future writers to go and explain. But yeah, honestly, there's just a lot of switching stuff. We do see Jason, and he does have some changes. It is the changes that eventually lead to him becoming Darth Kaitis. But the most important thing for his downfall to becoming Kaitis does happen in this one, where he goes and meets up with Tenel Ka, who is the current queen of Hapes, and they do spend some interesting time together, which would eventually lead to the birth of his daughter, Alana Solo, and after he has his daughter, he gets a vision of her on a dark throne, and that leads to him wanting to prevent that from happening, and he becomes a Sith himself to prevent her fall to the dark side. So it's another little interesting thing, but her birth isn't even discussed until the next book. And then there is some other interesting stuff. The most compelling and best part of this book, in my opinion, is the entire mystery from the character's perspective, because the audience already knows the answer to what is, well, who is the mother of Luke and Leia and what happened to her. At this point, the audience would have already watched the entire prequel trilogy, including Revenge of the Sith, and known that it was Padme and that she was force choked by Anakin and would eventually die from a broken heart after she believes Anakin has been killed, but he's just been barbecued and fully turned into Darth Vader. But this is a mystery that's being built up over the 3 books, and they're slowly learning the information. They get the first little bit of information about Padme in this one, and they're not even able to confirm that this is their mother yet. They are able to confirm it in the next book, but that's not the book I'm talking about right now. But yeah, honestly, this is probably my favorite part of it. It's a nice tie-in to the prequel trilogy, and answering a question for Luke and Leia for them to learn a fact that they were never able to learn, because this is a fact that didn't exist, and, well, I mean, technically it could have been 100% confirmed, but would have been highly suspected, especially after us seeing Anakin and Padme getting married in episode 2 at the time. Well, not specifically me, because I didn't watch the prequel trilogy until after it was fully released on DVD, like a year or two after Revenge of the Sith released in theaters. But the point still stands. But yeah, honestly, really, it's a really interesting book. Not the greatest one ever, and I think book 2 does such a better job picking up and making the story more interesting. But it is compelling enough to get you into the story, although it does have these flaws, and it's still better than most of the stuff that Disney is releasing in terms of books and comics, with, of course, the exception of basically Timothy Zahn, James Luceno, and that original run of Darth Vader, which was incredible. But honestly, I want to know what you think. Please leave me in the comments, and I'll see you in the next episode of Legends and Theories. Thank you for watching this episode of Legends and Theories. Please subscribe, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, check out the video on screen, and may the Force be with you.